Wait, that just happened. I would much rather have questions that cannot be answered than answers that cannot be questioned. That's right, guys. Never seen before, never done before. Straight from fart humor to 400 IQ philosophy quotes. Like, this brain, man. This brain. This brain. It just invents. No. What up, guys? How you guys doing? Welcome to today's video. Today we're gonna be doing the Huntsman quick guide. Sort of tomorrow I'm gonna sort of starting to pull down my TV and sort of disassemble some of my furniture, because getting a whole new desk over here, and yeah, doing a completely new setup the next 2 days. So that's gonna be amazing. But anyways, let's jump straight into the Vermintide, because after all, this is gonna be a 45-minute quick guide. Now, we are on the Huntsman. Yes. One of the most beautiful classes in all of the game. Also, I guess one of the only classes to realize ahead of time that the coronavirus was coming, you see? No. Now, just quickly before we get to all of his item builds and talent builds, one thing you want to practice when you play this guy is the longbow, and you want to make sure that you can differentiate these 3 attacks. Now, that takes a bit of practice. As an example here, now, spamming, always going to give you the light attack, but you want to be able to consistently differentiate 100% between this is the middle shot and that's the heavy shot, done as roughly as quickly as possible. And when you ulti, if you're fighting mixed, like just a bunch of stuff, then just use your light attacks. And if you want to take out a patrol of armored elites, then you use the fully charged up attack and go for headshots. Now, the Huntsman, of course, has one of the highest skill floors in all of Vermintide. He is hard to learn, even harder to master, but my god, he's satisfying to play. Like, he is my #1 most favorite quick play class in all of Vermintide. I enjoy playing him more than Shade, more than Handmaiden, more than Unchained, more than Battle Wizard when it comes to quick play. Once you get the mechanics, my god, he's satisfying and relaxing he's sort of tryhard and relaxing at the same time. It's hard to explain, but anyways, let's dive right into it. Now, today we're going to be taking a look at your standard quick play legend kata. We're going to go through a few variations, but build, yeah, sort of an all-around great Huntsman build that focuses on killing specials. Now, the weapon we're going to be using is the Tuskor Spear, and the bow we're going to be using is the longbow, because that's the only bow he has. Talent-wise, Taste of Victory, way more consistent than going for melee kills, so there's no argument here. For level 10, Make Him Bleed, critical hits causes enemies to take 20% increased damage. Absolutely amazing. You're going to be sort of critical hitting a lot. You also have a passive, which gives you and your team 5% extra critical hit chance, extra ammo capacity, and you double the effective range. And you regenerate ammo when you headshot stuff as a passive. Obviously, you're going to be getting enhanced power. Now, for the level 20 talent, this is where a lot of people would make the mistake of getting Thrill of the Hunt. Now, on paper, Thrill of the Hunt sounds amazing, but if you haven't watched my ranged Vermintide mechanics guide, I forgot what it's called, like ranged mastery mechanics, something like that, then I'll put, it looks like this, I'll put it up on the screen, throw a link to it down in the description, then go watch that, because you need to understand that for it to make sense. But essentially, this does when you're using the longbow. So this has absolute zero effect whatsoever when you're using the longbow. For that reason, and also because it synergizes really well with Make Him Bleed, we're going to be using this one. Now, the way making it look easy works is that you gain a headshot, and now you have a passive that you can see in the middle of the screen. Now, that passive is going to stay there, that was a critical hit, until you gain a... Really? Thank you. So that passive stays there. The 25% extra critical hit chance is there until you get a critical hit, right? So it's not just a one shot with the added bonus. You have that added bonus until you get your critical hit. So assuming you headshot a lot, which you're going to be, doing a lot, then essentially it's almost an extra 25% critical hit chance, just passive, right? So on top of your base critical hit chance, 5, plus your aura, another 5, plus the 5 on your trinket, that's going to put you at essentially 40% critical hit chance every time you do a headshot, which is pretty decent, I would say. This sounds better on paper than it is. It's not really consistent, and it's not good, trust me. For level 25, you're going to be going thick hide because we need to survive. Longshanks is an option if you know what you're doing, but I would go for thick hide for sure. And concealed strikes, allowing us to use our ulti and keep shooting, right? So we're still invis now. We're still invisible as long as our ulti is up, which is absolutely crucial. Now, as for the item builds, again, Tusk or Spear is the best. There's no doubt in my mind that Tusk or Spear for the Huntsman, like, sure, the mace is an option, the sword and mace is an option, the one-handed sword is an option, but the Tusk or Spear, once you get the mechanics of it, is just better in every way for the Huntsman. It's such an amazing weapon. Now, there are two ways you can build it on the Huntsman, in my opinion. If technically you could do like this, crit chance, attack speed, Swiss lane, but don't do that. If anything, you can go crit chance, block cost reduction, and Swiss lane. That works for Legend. It can also work for Cataclysm, but if you want to jump straight into the deep end of tryhardness, which is going to take longer to get used to, but it's also going to be better in the long run, then you want to put Opportunist on it instead of Swiss lane. Now, you're going to find it hard to keep up with hordes at first, before you get the rhythm. But it's a much safer choice because it allows you to pushes and certain attacks to stagger things like Berserkers, giving you crucial space in moments of need. And because you have sort of the extra push strength, that also synergizes with your temporary HP generation for another crucial synergy. So Opportunist is better, in my opinion at least, than Swiss lane here, even if it takes a bit to learn. As for the longbow, there are a few ways to build it. Now, in terms of just power versus properties, there are two ways to do it. Armor Skaven with Chaos on the charm, or Chaos Infantry with Skaven on the charm. Now, they essentially hit identical breakpoints, completely identical, with the only difference being whether or not a fully charged attack plus a light attack is sort of whether or not that breakpoint is going to be on a Strangler or on a Blightstormer / Leech, right? But most of the time you're going to be shooting it twice with a charged up shot anyways, right? So it's a tiny, minute difference. But you need 30% versus Skaven Infantry for to one-shot, body shot, and assassin. And because we have our enhanced power, we only need 20%, right? And we're also going to be able to one-shot, headshot Beastigors with this because we have 10% versus armored. I would recommend armored Skaven, and either Scrounger or headshot replenish. Really, both works. I would say that comes down to preference. I use both, actually. I switch in between them. I feel like conservative shooters should be the way to go in my mind, but I feel like it's nice to have the variety of Scrounger, right? Because remember, we have 25% increased critical hit chance every time we headshot. So you're already getting 1 ammo every time you headshot, which means assuming you headshot for free. And then on top of that, 40% of the time, your next shot will then give you back 2 shots. And I don't know, I like that. And when you ulti, you shoot for free, which means you shoot for free and you regain ammo, both when you crit and when you headshot. So I prefer the Scrounger version most of the time, but that's a matter of preference. Either is totally fine. But make sure you have Chaos on the charm, combined with the armor and Skaven to hit the most optimal breakpoints. Stamina and health, and I prefer Barkskin. You could also run Boon of Shalia, I guess, but in my opinion, no, Barkskin. Stamina and health. That's going to give you a total of 5 stamina, and stamina is crucial. That's why we're not running block cost here. You need to be able to use your push block attack. Your push block attack is everything, okay? Your push block attack is so important that it's really hard to explain just how important it is. Now, there are 3 combos that you use. First, there's the combo you use when you want to conserve your stamina, right? So there's a horde, you're fighting stuff. Light attack, heavy. Light, heavy. Light, heavy. That costs nothing, right? But right now I have max stamina, which means immediately I would switch to do like this, because, you know, I want to use my stamina because that attack is better. But in between, whenever I can find the room, because you can't just keep going like this, then you'll die, right? Because you'll run out of stamina. So it's all about that balance between these 2 combos. That might sound really simple, but it's really not in practice. And sort of, yeah, finding that balance between when to push block attack and when to go for the light attack heavy is absolutely crucial. So try to take notice of that as you're playing. Really important. And the other combo you have is just light attack cancel, which is really good if you need to take out, let's say, a Blightstormer or a Leech, something that's up close in your face. Maybe it's a gas rat and you don't want to have your bow out, then this is your sort of single target. It's also good for just spamming down a single Chaos Warrior or a single Storm Vermin. Although it works better with Swift Slaying, admittedly, but it's still a useful combo, but it's less important. Now, yeah, that's about... Oh, yeah, of course. Decanter. Definitely Decanter. If you're playing Cataclysm, crit chance, stamina recovery, and I'd say this is one of the few heroes where Shrapnel can be justified. You can also run Explosive Ordnance, but Shrapnel is justified here, in my opinion, because of a breakpoint it hits when you, versus Chaos Patrols, where if you throw a bomb in, the amount of headshots you then need to kill like a Chaos Warrior with your ulti right after is less. So for that reason, Shrapnel is actually justifiable here. Now, a lot of people might think Shrapnel is great for boss damage, but boss damage is so overrated, right? Shrapnel is not. It shouldn't be something you put on your trinket because you want to kill bosses faster. I know that might seem counterintuitive, but that's not what Shrapnel is good for. What Shrapnel is good for is throwing a bomb into a large amount of elites, and now you deal 20% extra to all of them, right? So if you throw another bomb, now that bomb is going to deal 20% extra damage, which means you can clear a patrol, which is essentially like really important on Kata, for example. So that's what Shrapnel is good for. Now, if you're playing on Legend, you are going to do either the risky or the safe. This is the safe, stamina recovery curse, and the risky would be critical hit chance and curse. So adjust that as you see fit. But if I were you, as hard as it sounds, I would drop the crit chance. If you're new to Huntsman, drop the crit chance. You don't need that crit chance. You have crit chances from other sources, and you need that stamina, okay? Or you will die. At least, let me put it this way. If you find yourself dying, put on the stamina recovery, because that's most likely what's killing you. Anyways, I think that's about all of the basics. It's also good to know that when you use your ultimate, you actually reduce your movement speed and your dodge distance. Just a little known fact. Now, the primary clip we're going to be taking a look at today, I've selected quite intentionally, I would say. Now, apologies, because this clip is actually from before I got used to a lower sensitivity, so I am playing with an extremely high sensitivity, which I know some viewers dislike. However, the reason we're going to be watching this clip in particular is because pretty much everything that could go wrong suddenly went wrong. And one thing that's absolutely crucial to learning the Huntsman is being able to stand on your own 2 feet. What I mean by that is it's not good enough that you always need your teammates for survival. So one of the key aspects and one of the hardest aspects of playing a good Huntsman is being able to be efficient with your special killing even under pressure. And what happens in this game, which is a regular Cataclysm run, was that I was host, and apparently I DC'd, which meant everyone DC'd. Essentially, from one moment to the next, I was on my own, but I didn't realize it in the moment, right? So, and I played through all the way to the boss and then lost at the boss. We're not going to watch that far, but essentially, sort of the struggle of being overwhelmed and still having to deal with specials, still having to stay alive. That's why we're going to be looking at this clip. Now, we are going to skip the beginning. Quite a bit, in fact.
Root, truck, branch.
All the way up until here, which is roughly speaking 2 minutes prior to my teammates actually DCing, or me DCing, however you want to put it. Now notice always safety first. If you're unsure whether you can take the shot, then don't take the shot. Here, focus on the special. And as you can see, yeah, I was playing with an insanely high sensitivity. Now, not everyone would feel comfortable taking such risky shots, and I would recommend that you don't do that if you're just starting out. Again, a great way to farm ammo, simply lining up incoming hordes, doing multiple headshots. Corona! You got corona! No, I'm just kidding. I don't know who that dude is, but he seems like a pretty funny guy.
Down we go.
Now, roughly in the transition to the next room, that's where stuff really starts to go sideways.
I promise I'm corona free.
That's good to know. Thank God. Logically impossible to cough if you don't have corona. That's how it works. Holy shit, my sensitivity. Even I am like, how was I playing with that high sensitivity?
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad name either. Sounds like a really screwed up surgeon. 𝒮𝔮𝔞𝔤𝔤𝔢𝔯𝒮𝔮𝔲𝔞𝔡.
Don't worry, shit will go down very soon. I promise. And just to be clear, it's not the fact that you should go for clutching, but it's the same mechanic that the mechanic you utilize in a clutch with the Huntsman is sort of the same survival tactic strategy that you have to implement yourself, even in a quick play game, whenever you don't have the backup and support of your teammates, because those situations will happen. You of course, a lot of the time you can hide behind your team, but not all the time, and you're not going to be effective if you can't stand on your own 2 feet when you get separated, which will inevitably happen. Now, I believe they are about to DC very, very soon. And in the moment, I didn't even notice, because it didn't actually say they had DC'd for a while. But even after they had DC'd and turned into, like, dead butts, I hadn't realized. By the time I managed to finish the clutch, I was like, Oh, guys, did you see that? And I was like, wait, I have butts. Wait, what happened?
Pretty good job. You were halfway.
So they DC right on the other side of this wall when we entered the room on the left side. Again, the lineups here are important versus hordes. Your positioning matters for the effectiveness of your shots.
Keep 'em busy. Got something special to prepare. We've a leech by the sound of it.
And they've already DC'd, even though it doesn't say that they have. They have already DC'd. That's why all three of them died. Again, oh my god. This sensitivity. Now I know what you guys were talking about. Now I do apologize for that, but... my ulti, take my time, make a plan in my head. This is a bad place to be. Move out into the open, focus on the leeches now that I have some distance. Try to keep them in the bottleneck, constantly moving. I got stuck there for a moment, that cost me some HP. But you have to be able to do, like, it looks so easy, but sort of the dodge dance with the spear can be tricky to learn because you don't move as far and you have to cycle between looking at the minions that you want to block because you don't dodge as far as an elf, so minions are gonna catch up to you, then you have to block, and so you have to look at them, then turn your vision and then dodge, right? And getting sort of the flow of that is quite important. Also, when you push block attack, when you heavy, there's a really delicate balance because you are gonna run out of stamina. And stamina with the Huntsman is a resource because you cannot hold off a horde on Cataclysm indefinitely without backing off. So if you can't back off, then you need to sort of cycle through your push block attack. When can you, like whenever you can get in at sort of a double heavy combo instead of a push block attack, you want to do it. Whenever you have to do the push block attack, you of course do the push block attack. And don't, if it doesn't make sense, don't worry, because there's going to be a lot of me being alone in this run. I also thought it would be interesting to watch for another reason, because I know a lot of you guys have been requesting guides regarding how to play with bots, how do you win with bots so you can solo with them, right? And there are a couple of aspects to that. Of course, I didn't pick my bots here, so I didn't give them their builds. But one crucial aspect is that you kill hordes as quickly as possible. Now that might sound obvious, but what kills bots more often than not is horde. It's trash minions. So you actually want to be really aggressive in taking out trash. Now that is hard because I am playing a Huntsman and not the hero I would normally be on if I was doing a bot solo. But try to be really aggressive, because as you can see here, the bots are dying, but it's not because of the elites, it's because of the trash. They can fairly consistently actually dodge the heavies of elites. So you want to be aggressive on the trash minions. And even just keeping one bot alive, again, as you saw before, can be the difference between an assassin being lethal and an assassin being, you know, sort of... You get a get out of jail free card, right? By having even just one bot alive to sort of save you from those most crucial mistakes.
Let's wait.
Using them as bait. It's another tactic. How was I playing with that sensitivity? I don't understand how I was playing with that sensitivity. Again, you can be wasteful with resources, because there's only you. And now here, this part is absolutely crucial, okay? How I'm controlling the minions and the flow of minions and my attack pattern here, that is probably the single hardest thing to learn as a huntsman, because the aim, you'll get that over time, right? Sort of the feel of when is it charged up, the bow, and when isn't it, or when is it not. But in here, for example, whoops, constantly using my stamina as a resource and assessing, sort of finding a gap where you can then pull out your bow and take out those specials. Now again, I know that it looks so easy here, so simple, but it's really not. It's extremely difficult. Even I will sometimes find it difficult. In a situation like this, I will definitely, you know, it takes a lot of focus. If you're just doing quick play, Legend, Kata, and you have a team, then again, you don't have to be able to do it indefinitely. But you have to be able to stand on your own 2 feet for at least, I would say, a good solid 20 to 30 seconds without just consuming all your stamina and being screwed over by nothing but trash minions, right? And maybe a single special. Because it is your job to take out specials. Don't forget that. Your primary objective in a sort of in the team composition is medium to long range special killing, and preferably an effective special killing. That means you're not partially focusing special. Your specials are your job, right? An elf also kills specials, but specials are your job. That is why you are here. Your melee is your survival. Your ranged is your tool. That's why you're in the team composition in the first place. That's what you do. That's what you excel at. So you want to be extremely aggressive when it comes to taking out specials. You want to be looking for them. You want to, if you hear a special, you want to be ahead of it. You want to already, like, you shouldn't wait for the assassin to already hit your teammate if you heard it 10 seconds ago and you sort of had the opportunity to take the shot. Then that's your job to do. If that makes a sense. So if there's trash all around and sort of chaos, right? Let's say there's an ambush, couple of elites, and suddenly you hear Strangler, right? Then it's your job to find a gap from which you can take out the Strangler, because the Strangler stresses everyone else out. Like, you have to think of it this way. The Strangler, even just the presence of the Strangler, might get your teammates killed due to them then making mistakes, right? Because you're like, oh, can I dodge it? Can I not dodge it? And that's why you want to be proactive when it comes to special killing. As soon as you hear a special, as soon as you know a special is coming, you don't worry about doing melee attacks for any other reason than to find a gap you can exploit to shoot the special. That is your job. Of course, when you're in a solo situation, you don't really have a choice. You either make the gap and kill the special, or you get grabbed sooner or later. And again, positioning with a huntsman, again, is especially in a solo situation, is really important. Using, like on Cataclysm, again, there is no holding back a horde indefinitely with the huntsman, melee-wise. It just can't be done. Like, sooner or later, you're gonna run out of stamina, you're gonna run out of, you know, of room. So like you need either room to move in, or you need a team, or you need help. So when you're solo, if you have nothing else to give you that extra leeway, then you want to use the environment. Like something as benign as jumping up on a table, blocking there for a moment, waiting until all the minions sort of gather up into a dense pack, and then jumping over them, for example, just to give you that little bit, sort of that second and a half of stamina regeneration, can mean all the difference in the world.
Have you ever wondered what the Pact-Sworn might pay? You could be a power, a warlord, a king.
A king? Oh, I want to be king.
Yes. What's your point?
I heard that.
Leeches down!
I actually find it really annoying to watch myself play with that sensitivity. I never thought I would. It never even occurred to me until people started mentioning it. I can see what you guys were going on about. Thankfully, this is no longer the case. But like, once you have those mechanics down, like the shooting mechanics and sort of the survival aspect of the spear, then he is so relaxing to play. Like, I wasn't kidding earlier when I said he is my absolute favorite quick play hero. Because once you have those mechanics down to mechanics, once you have it ingrained in your fingers, and you no longer have to think about how to react to a horde, then there's just something really relaxing about his role in the team. Because you're just shooting stuff. You're one of the only persons, one of the only classes that's allowed to just spam your ranged attack. Just stand there and just spam into a horde, right, at all times. And you have that comfort feeling of knowing that you can go in this right now. If you really need to, you can go in this right now. And it's in a more relaxing way than the elf, because on the elf, whenever you use your ulti, you have a timer in your head. You're sort of, as soon as you ulti on a shade, you're like, value, right? Your mind is at, how do I get this heavy attack? How do I line up so I can sort of kill as many elites as possible? And the moment you sort of pull off that attack, you immediately have to worry about your survival, right? About shit. The moment I do this attack, I have to not get stuck, and so on. But with the Huntsman, you just ulti, and you just keep shooting. And I don't know, it's hard to explain, but he is so relaxing to play once you learn how to play him. Ask any, like, sort of multi-thousand-hour player who's bothered to play him, and, like, they all say the same. But, like, it's usually people who try hard a lot, admittedly, but for whatever reason, most tryhards in Vermintide find him really relaxing to play, myself included. So he's definitely worth a shot. He's really satisfying to play, I would say. I remember when I went the first time from Shade and Kerillian in general to the Huntsman, and I disliked it so much at first because I was so used to the feeling of the longbow, Kerillian's longbow. And I thought, no, this bow feels weird, it feels awkward, it's like, something's not right. But once it made sense, it's like a headshot with, with the Huntsman's longbow is like double as satisfying as it is with Kerillian's longbow. For that very reason, oddly enough, that sort of, there's a weird quirk to sort of mastering the longbow on the Huntsman, but once you get it, then it's really it's an acquired taste, I think is the correct term. But many of the best things in the world are acquired tastes, right? Coffee, wine, beer. I'm Danish, okay, so I mentioned alcohol. Licorice, maybe. What else is an acquired taste? Chili. Also an acquired taste.
Are you so fragile, One-Eye? What fire thrower?
You do not die until I decree it.
This way!
But I think we have seen enough of this clip. Not much more to get out of this. Now, this is on the same map, of course. Could also watch that other noise.
Do you know if it's anything specific?
No, I just.
This was
heard,
live on stream.
Like from.
If you proxy me, I could probably just rush to the.
Throwing a bomb down there.
It's just one more quick example of the dodge dance, but this time without the insane sensitivity and the horrible game quality. Like, my god. It's because I've downloaded it off YouTube. Hope you guys can live with that. But again, just another good example of why, if you're comfortable on the Huntsman, you can clutch just as much as you can, almost as much as, I say just as much as the Handmaiden. Theoretically.
Throwing a bomb.
In theory.
Okay, nice.
I'm not help.
I'm throwing another bomb. Oh, I died.
I forgot.
Oh shit.
Oh, I think you should drop the grim. Okay. Try to.
Oh,
And just for context, this is Cataclysm 200% Twitch mode.
thing helped though.
I'm allowed to fire rats.
Again, using the environment to create a gap between me and minions. I cannot stress how, like, for all heroes, but especially on the Huntsman, but for all heroes in general, that is a really important mechanic to learn. The first things that should cross your mind if you're getting overwhelmed is how can I create a gap? And if you're out of stamina, then movement is your only choice. And surprisingly small things in Vermintide can be used to create just that half a second gap to generate just that tiny bit of extra stamina that allowed you to survive that sort of extra two minion hits, block those 2 minion hits, that allowed you to get just that 1 extra meter, which allowed you to get just another gap, right? And so on.
Well, I'm behind you. I'm behind you.
And to be clear here, I was on stream, so I felt like I had to rest him, but it was actually a really poor decision on my part to go for this rest.
I don't think you can rest me. Oh, you can.
Yeah, but you will die likely.
Probably.
Also remember, you don't have unit walking with his ulti. Unlike Shade's ulti, where as soon as you're invis, you can just walk through minions. That is not the case for the Huntsman. So you do keep that in mind.
On the other side. Oh, lightning. Doesn't that affect all the stuff as well?
No, I can't pick up the conch pot, I just forgot. I can't. I have the grim.
Good part, yeah.
And again, as soon as you have the gap, then you make a plan. As soon as you hear there's enough distance between me and the minions that I have a moment to think. I have a moment to rationalize, what do I do, right? Because I can't just keep going in circles forever. That's not going to work, right? I need to rest people somehow. There's too much stuff to kill. It's Twitch mode. Stuff will keep spawning, so I can't just clear it out. I need a plan. I saw a conch pot. Create a gap between me and the minions. Grab the conch pot. The gap, create a new gap between me and the minions, allowing me to drink the conch pot, giving me ultis, invis, allowing me to rest my teammates. Boom, there's a plan. That's a strategy.
Yeah, I got this. If I don't fuck it, it can be done. I'm not sure if I'm going.
The movement right in the next 12 seconds illustrates really well the kind of movement you need to learn.
Going to, but it can be done if I don't fuck it up.
I mean, lightning helps though.
Can you just get to the conch pot?
Just like Fortunes of War.
Yep. Just gotta run in a circle until you go around.
Now I need a ledge to drink it after I drop down.
Would you rather heal? During the drop down?
Once he gets his ult, he can probably heal. Oh.
As you,
Just don't fall down.
Nice.
Thanks.
Now we have a shot at fighting. It's still survival, is your number 1 priority.
Oh, Nice.
Again, it's not that it was that amazing. It was just no mistakes were made, and that's often all it takes.
Oh, there's a, yeah, got it.
That one better
Nice
than I
clutch.
expected.
Yeah, I'm about to sit here and,
But it's really hard to understate just how important it is to have to formulate a plan when you realize you're screwed. It doesn't even have to be a clutch situation. It could just be that you walked into a room, there was an ambush, minions came between you and your teammates, you have nowhere to move behind you. What do? And it can be hard to think in those situations, right? It can be hard. It really can. Like, that takes experience again. But what do? Call for help. Survive as long as possible. Maybe if you sort of move into one side of the room, the minions will gather there, and that will clear up the entrance if you then dodge around in a circle, and you can get out the room. But you need a plan. You can't just go to lockdown, if that makes sense.
fireballs, dude.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were backing off there when I started throwing it.
No, it's fine. Watch out,
That was enough
there's
exciting for me.
a grab or something
did
like that. For what's it called? The leech. Either a leech or a,
Patrols on the front.
Alright. I'm at the back, there's still quite a bit here, but I'm slowly dealing with them.
Versus things like a Chaos Patrol, you obviously want to try to focus a single Chaos Warrior to sort of thin out the numbers. But you always want to go for the headshots. I mean, that sounds so obvious. But again, your positioning here matters a lot
I didn't know you could get one
when
here.
you choose to fight.
No, it's like Twitch.
Yeah. I'm gonna quickly go over here. Do you guys aggro it or no? Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna start fireballing it.
See a few quick shots to sort of lower his guard, and then the charge up attack to actually kill.
Oh. Oh, I just got down.
Gotcha.
I'll be able to quickly do my team. Stagger them. There you go. This is where I want slow cooker, but I don't have it. Ugh. Watch out behind you. I should be able to stagger them in a second. Should be able to run. Okay, I'm gonna stagger them. There we go.
Oh, let's get out of here.
Oh,
Oh shit.
Oh, this is.
there you go.
Help.
Oh my god.
Help.
Oh my. Oh, help him.
That almost went
Oh shit, that
sideways.
could have gone
Oh,
so
there's one
wrong.
more.
Good job, mate. Good job,
Hey,
guys.
just start running. I'm fireball.
Oh,
inside
there's
the
one.
storm. Oh, thanks. Oh, there's a. There we go.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Oh.
GG. Holy shit.
Anyways, I hope the rabble made sense. Huntsman is a hard hero, hard class to master. Takes practice. You're not gonna feel comfortable right away. Let me just put that out there immediately. You're not gonna feel comfortable right away. But he's one of the classes that's really worth the persistence, I would say. Because really, he's one of the most satisfying heroes to play. He's one of the most satisfying heroes to do well with. Like, you don't necessarily feel special when you have a good elf game, a good shade game, right? Everyone has good shade games. When you have a good huntsman game, it's also more rewarding because you know that the skill floor is up there. Not just to mention the fact that that he's just so satisfying to play. Once you nail those headshots, once you again nail that clutch, you feel like if it was a handmaiden I had been playing there, I would have been like, meh, whatever, go for the res, you know, ulti, ulti, res, ulti, res, ulti, and we move on, right? But when you manage it with a Huntsman, it's intense, because you have to think every second through. Every second, because nothing is given to you other than the 6 seconds you have of invisibility. Nothing else is given to you, and so you really have to your mind has to work overtime in those situations, and that's what I love about it, because I am a thinking man's gamer. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you want more content like this one, let me know down in comments below. Also, which class you guys want me to do next? Which one would I like to do next? That's a good question. I hadn't asked myself yet. Which one would I like to do next? Guess we should do one of the heroes we haven't done yet. So either we could do we could totally do an Unchained. It's been so long since we've done Unchained content. Fuck yeah, we're gonna do an Unchained next, I think. But nonetheless, let me know which one you guys would like down in the comments, and if it's an overwhelming slam dunk for some other class, then I'll do that. And as always, I love you guys. Stay awesome. Peace out.